Hello and welcome to SSRF's Spiritual Research Series that explains the spiritual perspective on various facets of our lives. In this episode, we will explore the act of dancing and the spiritual impact it has on us. Dance is a worldwide phenomenon that has touched all our lives. Why do people like the art of dance so much? How do the various dance styles affect us? In order to understand this, SSRF embarked on a research about the performing art of dance. We were particularly interested in understanding the spiritual dimension of dance movements. The spiritual dimension is a world which is beyond the comprehension of the five senses, mind, and intellect. It is studied through the sixth sense. By studying dance through the sixth sense, we can understand the spiritual impact of dance movements on the dancers and their surroundings. Let us see some dance movements in a dance performed at the SSRF Center in Goa, India, by seekers in whom negative energies had manifested during a spiritual healing session. The dance movements observed were the movements of the waist. The second movement noted is the untying of hair. The third movement noted is dancing haphazardly. Here it is important to note that the dancers are seekers. A seeker is a person who makes honest and sincere efforts on a daily basis to grow spiritually. The seekers we have seen in the video have distress due to negative energies, but are doing spiritual practice to grow spiritually. These seekers are not regularly exposed to such music, nor do they belong to a culture where dance is a part of their social life. Yet, when the music is played, we observed that their movements were similar to modern-day dance performed at nightclubs, bars, and dance parties. These movements were then analyzed by seekers with advanced sixth sense, who belong to the SSRF's Subtle Knowledge section. Further, a saint of the highest order, His Holiness Dr. Atavle, verified their findings. These seekers perceived and reported through pictures based on their subtle knowledge what was actually happening in the subtle dimension during specific dance movements. They said that the seekers who were dancing at that time were possessed by higher-level negative energies, known as mantrics. In the case of people who are not doing spiritual practice, they could be affected by various negative energies, such as ghosts, demons, etc. Here, as the negative energies consciousness is dominant, the dance movements made by these seekers are actually those of the negative entity using the individual's body. These negative energies use their supernatural powers in order to dance in a way that matches the exact style and tune of music. As we can see, the seekers are least concerned or embarrassed while performing vulgar dance movements, neither in front of the camera nor in the presence of other seekers. This further establishes their state of being possessed by negative energies. Let us understand the intention of the negative energies behind specific dance movements with the help of pictures based on subtle knowledge. We will first see the movements of the waist. In this type of action, a vibrating covering of distressing energy is created around the body of the dancer. Further, this emits particles of distressing energy from the hand posture into the environment. Next, via the medium of such waist movements, rings of distressing energy get activated around the waist. Through these rings, particles of distressing energy are activated within the body and are released into the surroundings. So even if one does not dance in such a manner, but watches such a performance, chances are that he or she will be affected by the distressing energy. This may later manifest in the form of various types of physical, mental, and spiritual distress, such as headaches, palpitations, mental disorders, or feeling tired without any reason. The second point we observed was the effect of untied hair while dancing.
That was very smooth. I like that.
Excellent.
When the hair is untied while dancing, a covering of distressing energy is created around the dancer's body. Further, the particles of distressing energy from the hair are emitted into the environment. People dancing around this dancer are affected by these distressing energy particles, which then get activated within their body as well. The third type of movement was dancing haphazardly. Negative energies take advantage of this haphazard movement to increase the distress in the dancer by activating her 6 Kundalini chakras for easy transfer of distressing energy. This subtle perspective can help us understand the effect of specific dance movements. According to spiritual science, the entire universe is made up of 3 basic subtle components, which are spiritual in nature. They are called Sattva, Raja, and Tama. The vibrations of anything are dependent on the predominant subtle basic component. Sattva is the component that represents spiritual purity and knowledge. Raja represents action and passion, while Tama is the component that represents ignorance and inertia. The dance movements observed so far were Tama predominant. The music that these seekers are dancing to is also Tama predominant, and it adds to the negative energy's influence in the dance. His Holiness Dr. Jayant Attavale further added that the seekers in the video were not the only ones under the influence of mantrics. Whenever people dance in such a way, wherever they may be, it is an indication that they too are under the influence of negative energies. Also, there is higher Tama predominance in the environment when people are dancing under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Negative energies take advantage of the atmosphere created through such Tama predominant dance movements to cause distress to the dancer, as well as to spread distressing energy into the environment. This has an effect on the person dancing and everyone present, whether they are engaged in the act of dancing or not. Hence, from a spiritual perspective, it is best to avoid dancing in a manner that increases the Tama predominance within us. Increased Tama predominance makes us vulnerable to attacks by negative energies, which is primarily the cause of distress and unhappiness in our lives. The important thing to remember is that dance by itself is not bad. In fact, one can use it as a medium to grow spiritually and realize God. For this, the form of dance should give out spiritually pure vibrations and the dancer should have spiritual emotion towards God. In this episode, we understood how dance influenced by negative energies can affect us adversely. In the second part, we will see the sattva-predominant dance movements performed by seekers of God who do not have distress by negative energies.